In the shadows of European cities, there are organizations that operate silently yet possess the power to shake societies to their core. Today, we delve into two infamous names in the underworld, Hellbanianz and the Turkish Drug Cartels. These organizations not only symbolize gang crime but also represent opposing approaches in their methods and objectives. One is the king of the British streets, while the other is a master of global drug supply chains. But what makes them stand out? And when weighed against each other, which organization is more dangerous? Let's uncover their secrets together. Let's begin with geography, the starting point of every story. Hellbanianz is based in London, the financial hub and one of the hotspots for Europe's high-end drug market. Their operations extend beyond the UK, connecting with Balkan countries, particularly Albania. This connection is not just business, it's a blood bond between members, forming an almost unbreakable network. In contrast, the Turkish drug cartels operate on a much larger scale. From heroin production facilities in Afghanistan, they have built a transportation corridor stretching from the Balkans to Western Europe, with major hubs in Germany and the Netherlands. Unlike Hellbanianz, which is concentrated in a local area, the Turkish cartels are a transnational organization spanning the entire continent. But geography is just the beginning. Their influence is what truly matters. Hellbanianz, with their strategy of branding themselves through social media, has cultivated a gangster culture in the UK. Their flashy videos flaunting cash, luxury cars, and extravagant parties not only made them infamous but also attracted waves of disenfranchised youth from impoverished areas to join their ranks. This is how Hellbanianz builds power, not just by controlling the drug market but also by shaping community psychology. The Turkish drug cartels, on the other hand, are less ostentatious but far more ingrained in their influence. In Germany, the Netherlands, and other European nations, they not only supply heroin but also establish a safety net for Turkish immigrant communities. They provide financial aid, employment, and act as a shadow government within these communities. This not only sustains their operations but also creates an invisible shield that makes it difficult for authorities to penetrate. However, these differences are just the surface. Let's dig deeper. Is Hellbanianz truly stronger because of their local connections? Or do the Turkish cartels hold the upper hand with their global control? And will these strategies of power building ensure their dominance in the long term? Don't take your eyes off this story. As in the next chapter, we'll explore how these two organizations operate from within, examining their organizational structure and strategies in action. Behind every major criminal organization lies a perfectly functioning machine, where every cog plays a vital role. For Hellbanianz and the Turkish drug cartels, their success is not solely due to financial resources or geographical advantages but also their organizational structure and operational strategies. But between these two groups, which has the more effective system? Who is the more fearsome strategist in the underworld? Let's start with Hellbanianz. This is an organization known for its high flexibility. Rather than relying on a rigid hierarchy, they operate on a family model as their foundation. Members are often connected by blood or shared heritage from Albania. This not only fosters loyalty but also enhances their ability to quickly restructure if a group is dismantled. You can destroy a small cell, but Hellbanianz will always rise again, like a phoenix from the ashes. Small groups within Hellbanianz operate independently yet aligned through a common goal: controlling the high-end drug market in London and other major UK cities. This flexibility makes them particularly intimidating, as taking down one cell does not compromise the entire organization. Any gap left behind is swiftly filled by other groups. In contrast, the Turkish drug cartels function with a clear hierarchical structure. They resemble an international criminal corporation, with multiple layers of leadership, from those overseeing heroin production in Afghanistan, to intermediaries transporting it through the Balkans, and finally, distributors in Europe. This tight-knit organization ensures stability and control over the entire supply chain but also creates vulnerabilities. If a critical link is severed, the entire chain can suffer significant damage. The operational strategies of these two organizations also highlight stark differences. Hellbanianz does not just rely on drug trafficking but leverages social media as a tool to assert their power. Flashy videos showcasing luxury cars, cash, And extravagant parties are not just declarations of dominance but also recruitment strategies. Disillusioned youth from impoverished areas, captivated by these images, are eager to join the group in hopes of a better life. However, this strategy carries risks. The excessive flaunting of wealth and power makes Hellbanianz a prime target for law enforcement. Major crackdowns have been launched based on clues from the very images and videos they post. Yet, for an organization capable of rapid restructuring, does this truly weaken Hellbanianz? Or does it merely force them to become more cautious? On the other hand, the Turkish drug cartels adopt a more discreet approach. They avoid the limelight and focus on maintaining control over the entire heroin supply chain. From production in Afghanistan to transportation through the Balkans and distribution in major Western European cities. They keep their operations as secretive as possible. Rather than engaging in open turf wars, they rely on bribery and negotiation to maintain stability. This strategy helps them evade attention from authorities, though it also makes them heavily reliant on corrupt officials. The level of violence in their operations is another key point. Hellbanianz is infamous for public displays of violence. Shootouts, assassinations, and territorial disputes often occur on London streets, enhancing their fearsome reputation. However, this public visibility also makes them a top priority for law enforcement. Meanwhile, the Turkish cartels opt for silent brutality. They often employ covert methods such as assassination or assaults to safeguard their interests. These incidents rarely make headlines, but their level of savagery is undeniable. Once you are targeted by them, your chances of survival are slim. So, between these two organizations, who truly has the superior strategy? Is it Hellbanianz, with their flexibility and quick adaptability? Or the Turkish cartels, with their tight control and discretion? Perhaps the answer lies in the next chapter, where we'll delve into their financial resources, the lifeblood of all criminal operations. Money, for criminal organizations, is not merely a goal but the means to sustain power. A powerful organization thrives not only because it amasses vast financial resources but also due to how it leverages those resources to expand influence, buy power, and counter threats from law enforcement. For Hellbanianz and the Turkish drug cartels, their financial stories are not just about numbers but about how they use their wealth to fortify their empires. Let's start with Hellbanianz. Their primary revenue comes from high-end drug trafficking, particularly cocaine. In the UK market, London, as one of Europe's largest drug consumption hubs, has become a goldmine for Hellbanianz. Each year, the organization generates millions of pounds by dominating this market while expanding operations to major cities like Birmingham and Manchester. But Hellbanianz doesn't stop at drugs. They also engage in other activities such as arms trafficking, extortion, and even money laundering. While these operations don't yield as much revenue as drug sales, they play a critical role in building power and safeguarding their network. Every pound earned is reinvested into the organization, buying weapons, paying members, and crafting a lavish image to maintain influence on social media. In contrast to Hellbanianz's ostentation, the Turkish drug cartels operate like a financial juggernaut, deriving revenue from heroin, of which they control almost the entire supply chain. From production in Afghanistan to transportation through the Balkans and distribution across Western Europe, they rake in billions of dollars annually. This wealth isn't limited to heroin, it also comes from synthetic drugs, human trafficking, and other illicit ventures. What sets the Turkish cartels apart is how they handle their finances. They don't just invest in their organization but also launder money through legitimate businesses. Transport companies, manufacturing plants, and real estate ventures in Turkey and Europe serve as critical tools for legitimizing their vast illicit earnings. This not only conceals the origin of their funds but also generates additional income from legitimate operations. Their financial strategies go even further. Turkish cartels use their wealth to bribe officials and establish protection networks. In Turkey, where they maintain close ties with local authorities, money acts as a shield against investigations. This enables them to operate with near impunity, at least for extended periods. While Hellbanianz lacks the global scale of the Turkish cartels, they are equally adept at using money to sustain their power. A significant portion of their financial resources is invested in real estate in both the UK and Albania. Luxury apartments and opulent resorts serve not only as avenues for money laundering but also as symbols of power. However, this ostentation often makes them easy targets for investigators, as every asset leaves a trail. Both organizations understand that long-term operations require effective money laundering. While Hellbanianz focuses on small businesses and real estate, Turkish cartels opt for large corporations and international financial systems. This distinction provides Turkish cartels with a significant advantage, as the scale and complexity of their laundering operations make investigations exceedingly difficult. So, which organization truly dominates the financial game? Is it Hellbanianz, with their rapid cash flow from local high-end drug markets? Or the Turkish cartels, with their massive international financial network? And is money really the key to sustaining their power? The answer lies in the next chapter, where we delve into the social impact of these organizations, because no amount of money can fully mask the consequences they leave behind. Money and power can elevate a criminal organization, but the price is often the deep scars left on society. Hellbanianz and the Turkish drug cartels don't stop at dominating drug markets or building financial empires. Their presence has unleashed profound and devastating effects on the communities where they operate. So, which organization leaves the more indelible mark, positive or negative, on European society? Let's start with Hellbanianz, the street kings of London. Their presence in impoverished areas of the UK has turned once peaceful neighborhoods into dangerous battlegrounds. Territorial disputes, public shootings, and frequent acts of violence have left residents living in fear and driven away potential investors. Property values plummet, local businesses struggle to thrive, and the daily lives of residents are completely upended. But that's not all. One of Hellbanianz's most significant impacts is the spread of gangster culture. Using social media as a platform, they showcase a lavish lifestyle, luxury cars, expensive watches, and extravagant parties. This has created a success model that is dangerously appealing to youths in underprivileged areas. Young people, mesmerized by these images, join the organization in hopes of a better life. This has led to a sharp increase in juvenile crime, high dropout rates, and a generation of children ensnared in the cycle of criminality. In contrast, the Turkish drug cartels don't incite overt waves of violence like Hellbanianz. But their presence in Turkish immigrant communities across Europe has a quieter yet more profound impact. In Germany and the Netherlands, where the cartel dominates the drug market, heroin addiction rates have skyrocketed within local communities. Once peaceful areas have become epicenters of addiction, leading to declining public health, broken families, and an enormous burden on healthcare systems. Moreover, the Turkish cartels have established a shadow power network within immigrant communities. They provide jobs, financial support, and even protection from external threats. While this makes them appear as heroes to some, it also creates a barrier between these communities and the authorities. Dependence on the cartel not only traps individuals under their control but also undermines government outreach and support efforts. The economic repercussions left by both organizations are significant. For Hellbanianz, the rise in violence and crime in the UK has forced the government to allocate enormous resources to investigations and crackdowns. Local businesses suffer severe losses, pushing many areas into economic decline. Residents, especially low-income families, bear both the direct and indirect brunt of the organization's activities. In Germany and the Netherlands, the Turkish cartels have caused immeasurable damage to society. The surge in drug addiction affects not only individuals but also reduces workforce productivity and increases petty crime rates. Urban areas where they operate have turned into hotspots of addiction and criminality, significantly lowering the quality of life for residents. So, which organization has the greater social impact? Hellbanianz, with its widespread gangster culture and public violence, or the Turkish cartels, with their quiet but deep-reaching effects on immigrant communities and society at large? The answer isn't simple, as both leave behind consequences that European society will grapple with for years to come. One thing is certain, however, these effects cannot persist without attracting governmental attention. What measures have nations taken to confront these organizations? And have those efforts been truly effective? Stay tuned as we delve into the crackdowns and major arrests targeting these infamous organizations in the next section. when it comes to Hellbanianz and the Turkish drug cartels. One undeniable fact is that their power and influence extend far beyond the underworld. Yet, no matter how formidable they are, facing government intervention is inevitable. So, what have law enforcement agencies done to counter these organizations? And have these efforts yielded tangible results? Let's begin with Hellbanianz, an organization that frequently finds itself in the crosshairs of UK police. Their ostentatious displays on social media, videos flaunting cash, luxury cars, and extravagant parties, have not only attracted the attention of youth but also law enforcement. In several major operations, the police have used these very photos and videos as evidence to track members and unravel the group's activities. One of the most prominent operations targeting Hellbanianz was Operation Eternal. Launched in 2021, this operation resulted in the arrest of over 30 core members, the seizure of millions of pounds in cash, and a substantial quantity of high-end drugs, lavish mansions, expensive cars, and other assets belonging to the organization were confiscated as well. This was a significant blow to Hellbanianz's finances and public image. However, Hellbanianz is not easily defeated. With their flexible organizational structure, they quickly restructured and resumed operations. This highlights a significant challenge faced by law enforcement. Dismantling one part of the organization is not enough to weaken it as a whole. Hellbanianz is small. Independent groups ensure that when one cell is taken down, others swiftly fill the void. This makes policing efforts a long-term battle, with each victory bringing new obstacles. In contrast, the Turkish drug cartels face a different type of pressure. Operating on a transnational scale, they contend not only with local law enforcement but also international agencies like Interpol and Europol. One of the largest operations against them was Operation Balkan Shield. Launched in 2019, this was a coordinated effort among several Eastern European nations to disrupt the heroin trafficking route from Afghanistan through the Balkans. The operation resulted in over 50 arrests, the seizure of hundreds of kilograms of heroin, and the dismantling of one of the Turkish cartel's largest transportation routes. Yet, like Hellbanianz, the Turkish cartels proved resilient. Armed with immense financial resources and strong ties to local officials, they quickly opened alternative routes, ensuring minimal disruption to their operations. One of the most significant challenges in countering the Turkish cartels is the protection they receive from local officials in Turkey. This not only slows down investigations but has also caused several operations to halt before achieving substantial results. For an organization of their scale and influence, complete dismantlement is nearly impossible without sustained and coordinated international cooperation. However, this does not mean that Hellbanianz and the Turkish cartels are invincible. Government interventions, despite their limitations, have yielded some significant outcomes. Major operations not only weaken the finances and networks of these organizations but also send a clear message: no group is untouchable. So, considering everything, which organization is more formidable in resisting government intervention? Is it Hellbanianz, with their quick adaptability and flexible structure? Or the Turkish cartels, with their vast scale and protection from local officials? The answer may depend on individual perspectives. But one thing is certain: the fight against Hellbanianz and the Turkish cartels is not just a battle for law enforcement, it is one for society as a whole. Raising awareness, enhancing international collaboration, and implementing stronger legal measures will be key to countering these criminal organizations. After all, no one wants to live in a society dominated by shadowy forces. The story of Hellbanianz and the Turkish drug cartels is not just a confrontation between two criminal organizations, it is a reflection of society's darker sides. One operates openly with dangerous bravado, while the other lurks in the shadows with silent ruthlessness. Despite their differences in strategy and influence, both leave behind heavy, indelible scars on the communities they touch. If you found this story intriguing and want to dive deeper into the mysterious and perilous underworld, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss our upcoming captivating videos. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.